sophomore, and this is for all three of you. Can you say in one sentence or less what? You know what I mean. Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Now, this is something that affects me directly. It affects because it comes from my state. Now, not only my state, it comes to the county right next to mine. And this is one of the issues that we have, not only in my state, but across the country. So I do want to go over this, and we're going to have a deeper discussion, a short discussion, but a deeper discussion on this issue. Let's let NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt, shout out to Lester Holt, let's see what he's talking about, and we're going to go over my issues with this. Let's go talk.
In Mississippi, 6 former law enforcement officers have pleaded guilty to federal charges after investigators say the white officers tortured 2 black men for hours, then tried to cover up the crime. Miguel Almaguer now with what the victims are telling us tonight.
Tonight, Eddie Parker and Michael Jenkins say justice can be served now that the 6 white Mississippi law enforcement officers who beat them for nearly 2 hours have entered guilty pleas.
Finally gave up. I knew how it was to give up.
Right now, this is in Rankin County. And if you know anything about Rankin County, I know a lot of you don't. One thing is the police, they don't really mess with people. They don't mess with nobody. We're not just gonna say black people. They don't like no one. They are the property most. No telling how much they set up people, anything. They will set up their grandma. If it gets them money and can get them some raise, they will set up their grandma. They will give her a ticket. They will kick her out the house just to make her mad so she can go to jail. Listen, it is corrupt over there. And I'm not even just saying, but it's especially bad for. I'm just saying, you know.
It wasn't a surviving. It was a hoping I'll make it to the end.
Prosecutors in Mississippi say the officers tortured, used racial slurs, and sexually assaulted the 2 black men inside a Braxton home last January. Court documents reveal the officers, who called themselves the Goon Squad, broke down the door, beat, tased, and threatened to rape Parker and
Do you know how insane it is that, let me get that
Jenkins,
screen, y'all know
while
this
calling them
You know how insane it is to Goon Squad. You know how sick you have to be to want to do all them to other grown men. That's like some weird power play.
the N-word and monkeys as they accuse the men of sleeping with white women.
They coming there to do with.
Oh yeah, in Mississippi, you in them little racist areas. I'm warning y'all right now. If you in them little racist areas, they don't like that. They don't like you doing that. Now, in my hometown, you almost ain't got no choice. You know, I know some of them older ones, don't like it at all, but they ain't gonna do nothing about it because we more of a mix. Over there in that county, nah, they ain't quite as mixed.
They wanted to do.
They a little mixed, but they ain't quite.
And they came to do what they did.
The 5 Rankin County Sheriff's deputies, Brett McApplen, Jeffrey Middleton, Christian Dedman,
Make sure y'all remember them names. These
Hunter Elward, and Daniel Opdyke were joined by Richland police officer Joshua Hartfield. The federal complaint says one officer put a gun in Jenkins' mouth, pulled the trigger, and nearly killed him.
What did I do? Are these, really officers? Do they do this? Why are they doing it to me?
Authorities say the officers tried to cover up their crime by planting a gun in the home and drugs on the victims after.
See, y'all ever heard them stories about police planning on people? I got a question I want everybody to understand. How do you think black people in the hood get drugs? They don't have like a Mexican connect. I always think about something like that. I just want y'all to understand.
Their so-called raid. The officers charged with several crimes, including civil rights violations and obstruction of justice.
In their minds, the law and the Constitution be damned. They became the criminals they swore to protect us from.
After their guilty plea to federal charges, the members of the so-called Goon Squad still face state charges and years behind bars.
Thanks for watching.
Listen, let's go. We get them to state charge. We're going to get them out of here. We don't want that kind here. We don't want that kind. Now, we, of course, the Mississippi Goon Squad officers are part of a larger law enforcement problems, experts say. I want to read this report, and I want to actually go over it and cast us to think about it. Experts say rogue groups like the so-called Mississippi Goon Squad have long been a problem in the U.S. 6 former Mississippi police officers, some of whom reportedly called themselves the Goon Squad, pleaded guilty this month in a racist attack on Michael Jenkins and Eddie Parker, 2 black men who endured hours of torture from the officers in this January. Rankin County Sheriff Brian Bailey said in a news conference August 3rd that the police badge was tarnished by the criminal acts of these few individuals. We have shown some great police work, by the way. I don't want anybody who's just watching this video on his own just be like, oh, y'all against police, one bad apple. Don't. We have showcased the man in Florida who saved a black man from drowning in a sinkhole. We have showed that we have many cases where police officers do their jobs and help black people. We have showed it. But these police not calling these out and making sure these people don't get away with it is a problem that we gotta fix. We gotta fix in this country. Over the past decade, more than 80,000 law enforcement officers across the country have been disciplined on investigated for misconduct. 80,000. I just want you to understand how big that number is. 80,000. In addition, there are a number of instances where police officers, being members of white supremacist groups, gangs, or expressing white supremacist views, Johnson said. In 2006, the FBI warned the white supremacist group were infiltrating police departments. According to Michael Chairman, a former special agent with the FBI and fellow Brennan Center of Justice, the formation of a group like the Goon Squad is not a rare occurrence. This has been a part of a fabric of law enforcement for this country for some time. And in fact, it goes back to the history of policing during the Jim Crow era, which is true, by the way. You can look it up. You don't have to argue. A lot of road groups are officially created by the police department, Chairman said. So in Baltimore, you look at the gun crime task force that was involved in all kind of criminal activity, including episodes of violence and drug dealing and theft of drugs. Most recently, the street crime operation to restore the peace in our neighborhoods on Scorpion Unit was accused of brutally beating and killing Tyreek Nichols in January following a traffic stop, resulting in a murder charge for 5 former officers who was involved. You see, it's like a trend. My question to y'all is, how do we fix this? I don't want everybody being like, oh, we'll just get rid of this or that. I want to know honest things on how to fix this problem. So I want everybody to give your thoughts on this. Tell me in the comments. Let us know, how can we fix this issue that's continually happening in our country with the people who are supposed to protect our lives. Again, not against the police, but we have to admit there's a problem with our police. Because they're somehow becoming subgroups such as the Goon Squad and other squads, which are randomly naming themselves, who are part of weird organizations and banding together to harass people and do things and get missions together. We have to figure out, how do we stop this problem and anything. So I want a discussion in the comments. I expect this comment section to be full of great discussion, arguments even, because we all don't think the same. And hopefully we can come up with some ideas. And then I'll do a video. I'll do a video on all the ideas that we come together and made opposite ideas, arguments, everything. And let's try to settle this problem. Why? Because we do have a problem, especially if you want to say you love everybody and you're part of the Jesus Squad. Remember, Zell Reacts, like and subscribe, all that stuff. And let's go fix these problems. Let's actually be proactive. Let's not name call and do all that things, because these people are wrong and they're going to jail. They pleaded guilty. Now, I will do a story on how long they get, because if they don't get the time I expect them to get, then you're going to see me go off. No more Zenzel, no more Evenzel, no more let's try to figure out issues. Now I got, like, the problem is broken, burn it down. Like and subscribe, that notification bell. Follow us at I'll Be That News. Hit that link tree and all that stuff.